Hi, minasan. Konnichiwa.
Konnichiwa.
Welcome to Musings number
13.
13. Musings from Japan 13. Musings
That's right.
Yes.
Musings from Japan number 13. Last time was number 12.
私はマクマリンです。
私はグレッグテレです。
皆さんよろしくお願いします。
よろしくお願いします。
Thank you for coming, and we're going to have a great time today. We're going to talk about a lot of different things today. First of all, I want to say thank you to Anders Hagman for last time.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Anders.
Some of you were very impressed by him, all three of you. And anyway, but it was nice to have a change of pace. So
no, it was great. It was truly great to have Anders on and be able to pick his brain about some things he was thinking about.
But we're going to have him back on. We're going to have him back on for session 2 with him because he was kind of distracted by a birthday thing, and I want him to get on his computer, so he'll update his computer and actually put the Zoom on the computer, and he can sit down and talk to us.
I thought we still had a pretty good video connection thow overall. Everything went pretty good. I didn't even realize he wasn't on his computer.
Yeah, I mean, he uses his iPhone, Android. I'm not sure what he's using. So, yeah, it was pretty cool. So, let's see. Let's update 2 things we need to update. First of all, Greg, how's the weather?
The weather is it's cloudy. It's interesting. It's turned to fall. I mean, you could say it's definitely fall temperatures because consistently fall temperatures.
Yeah, nice.
No air conditioner is necessary at night during the overnight hours or anything like that. It's cloudy now. It's been consistently cloudy in the morning for several mornings, and the temperatures are lower. They're gradually going lower, and it just feels like fall.
It's nice that the temperature is the big thing for me. It's cool here.
It's moderated.
I'm actually it's nice. I kind of like it. I went for a walk this morning. I sent you the information.
I saw your stats and how long you walked and how far you walked, and thanks for sharing that with me. You had a great walk.
I didn't realize that I walked 7 kilometers. I'm not trying to set a distance or a speed record. I'm just trying to walk a certain amount of time. So I'm trying to walk a good solid hour. So I keep a good fast pace for 1 hour walking, and hopefully the stoplights don't stop me, and or I get distracted by people walking their dogs.
When I lived up there in Niigata Prefecture, I just would walk everywhere I went, or I'd ride the bus or whatever. I never had a car, so I would walk everywhere, and it was amazing. You just do it, and in my case, at that time, I just lost a huge amount of weight.
Yeah, for me, it's kind of like I haven't done it in a while, so it's like trying to rearrange the body and put it back in order, and I feel good. I feel good about walking, and it was really nice. Good feeling. So the weather, good. Okay, yeah. Less rain. That's okay. It's getting cool.
Yeah. In fact, the rain settled down. It's sometimes during the early fall, you get a lot of rain. And I'll tell you this: we have not had in central Japan any typhoons here this year.
No, I think last time we talked about there was a typhoon heading for Greg's area, but actually it didn't.
It completely missed the area.
It turned away and it went out and probably hit Alaska or something. I don't know,
somewhere, but it was it completely avoided our area, and at this time 2 or 3 years ago, I think it was 2 years ago.
2 years ago,
by this time we had 24 recorded typhoons in this region of the Pacific.
Right.
24 at least, and this year I think they've gone up to 10 or 15. But none of them have hit central Japan.
No.
And we had 4 typhoons a couple years ago here.
Right.
So it was a quiet summer and quiet fall, and I think we're going to be, the rest of the month we could get one, but it won't be anything major,
I'm not.
if anything.
I wouldn't say. I don't think. Probably nothing at this moment. This was getting too late. Like you said, it's
It's
fall.
getting late. Yeah.
The big thing that I only worry about is this. Does this mean that winter is going to be heavy? Because
Well, it makes you wonder.
Mount Fuji got snow. What did they say? 2 or 3 days earlier than normal.
Oh no, it was a couple weeks earlier.
A couple weeks. Okay, I
Yeah.
thought it was days. Oh crap.
No, it was a quite a time period. I read it on NHK or something, one of the news service. It was NHK.
So that means I have to start preparing for snow.
Maybe so. You better get your carts, your cars with your snow tires changed.
Well, the snow tires won't be. I don't have to change them until November, but I don't want to. Last year I didn't. I didn't have any. I didn't have to change.
I was just thinking what's great about this time of year in Japan is, and this is one thing I really love about living in Japan, is that, well, first of all, your weather right now is similar to mine. Until it gets really snowy, then we won't have any snow here, and
Right.
we'll be lucky. We'll be lucky if we get like a dusting one time a year, but it'll get cold and windy, very windy here all the time, and but it'll be sunny. It'll be sunny in the winter.
Yeah.
And what's your weather like in the winter?
Snow. It's cold. It's damp here, and then if there's a what do you call it, not an Arctic blast, the Mongolian blast that comes off of China and Korea that comes over the northern part of Japan, then we get this maybe 2 or 3 weeks of snow where it's just constantly cold.
And what's interesting is if you look at the radar of the precipitation and moisture coming in that direction, in Japan, you can see the weather patterns, and the radar during the winter season is coming from like straight from the northwest,
right?
And off of Mongolia and Siberian Russia and China and that region, and coming down into Japan and over the Sea of Japan, and then coming into your area, or coming into all along the Sea of Japan side of Japan,
right?
And if it comes in that specific direction, there's a likelihood of snow.
Yeah, and that's what I'm worried about.
Yeah.
So, but at least right now, this is my favorite season. The leaves are changing color.
Yeah, I think it's my favorite season too.
I can go walking and not worry about it. It's kind of nice, and the food changes.
And we're recording this in the first part of October, so we have about a month of really good weather left. Even into November, it can be good, but you can't be surprised if it gets like, it's really chilly.
Yeah.
In the first week of November.
Yeah, we're gonna get the weather's kind of like this. You have warm days, cool, warm, cool, warm, cool, cool.
But right now it's level. It's pretty steady.
Steady, right? But later on, it'll start to fluctuate. But
it's a long fall.
But I look forward to enjoying this fall.
Long autumn, yeah.
Next, then, okay, let's talk about coronavirus. Dun, dun, dun. Actually, I'll put some little graphics in here later. Ready, Greg? Coronavirus. Dun. Okay, that'll be good. We'll put that in there. Anyway, coronavirus update, at least in my area. So Niigata, we haven't had a recorded case of coronavirus now for 3 weeks.
That's great.
Yeah. Now, but what the thing that I'm worried about is that it's flu season, right? Right. So flu season here in Niigata is kind of heavy because it's cold, like the weather changes and it's cooler than here. And a lot of people, kids go to school with this sniffly noses, this kind of stuff all the time. And now that you add a mask to it for most of the kids, because we still have our protocols, you're keeping all that stuff stuck in. It's not very sanitary, but right now, so far, so good. I mean, coronavirus, no problem. People are getting their flu shots already. We're looking good on this side of the country. How about you, Greg?
As far as I know, I think so. I, to be honest, I don't know.
Well, I know I watch. I do Corona watches because I worry about where students are coming for my school. So, your prefecture, you average still between 10 to 15 cases a day in your prefecture. So in your area, but obviously it's not bothering you. It's not bothering your. Those cases are very isolated. So there's no clusters or major problems.
No,
So.
we have to wear masks all the time.
Right, and you
You
and
know.
you do the washing, and you
Yeah.
the sprays and the gels, and
Yeah.
just to reiterate that point, my school yesterday we had what do you call it? Not an entrance exam, but it was kind of like we have a system for students who want to come to our school and want to apply for kind of financial aid and scholarships. So we have a special time. So they sign a contract and they're going to join our school. They're not going to apply to any other school, and they want to be eligible for these kind of scholarships. So we had interviews yesterday with that. So we had to set up different rooms, and this year we made special accommodations. Some teachers went to Joetsu, Nagaoka, as well as Niigata.
All over the prefecture.
We covered the three major areas of our prefecture, so that way we can do that. And we also did some of the interviews online. So yesterday, I was
Joetsu, Kaetsu, and
Chuetsu.
Chuetsu.
Right. So that's the Joetsu City, Naoetsu area, Nagaoka, and Niigata. I was in Niigata, and I did interviews in school. So we prepared two different rooms, actually three different rooms only. We set up a special waiting room. We had, barriers. We had masks. We wiped down everything and social distance, and we did those interviews. And we also did online interviews for students who couldn't come or who were outside of the prefecture, because I did one student who was actually in Toyama.
Oh,
yeah.
That's
so they
a couple hours away from Niigata by train.
Yeah, and actually from Joetsu by car, they're a couple hours. I mean, they could have gone to Joetsu, but normally that's what we would have done. They would have been a bus that would pick up from all these different spots and bring them to Niigata. But this year, no. So anyway, so that's what we would have done. How about your school? Any special things like that, Corona things, or?
No, but I know that there is talk of in Aichi of more online Zoom teaching.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying it where I necessarily work or whatever, but in general, from what I've been talking to people who are in the know, that there are possibilities that some things may go to Zoom. People are still meeting in public or meeting in schools. The public schools are in full operation, whereas they completely shut down for a month in March when this whole thing broke in Japan at the beginning of March.
Well, actually, many schools shut down for more than a month. They were shut down March, April, and through. They didn't resume until after the Golden Week. So we're talking 2.5 months shut down.
That's right, and they were shut down, and then they some places reopened, and then they shut down again.
Right,
and so in fact, I was off from my own job. I worked without students for the entire month of March.
Right.
And then April, I was with students for a short time. And then I was without students until the 1st of June.
Right. Yeah. You
and I was even break. Off. I had a long break, and thank those that are in power. I was paid. I did. Yeah. So.
Yeah. For me, I mean, it's a little different. The college, they had online things, so it was very not simple, but we had made contingencies in March, and we had set up a plan to do these things, and we set up the infrastructure. The only thing I had to worry about is that I had a heart attack, so I had a month off.
Mark, I wish I could show you what's outside my window. Within maybe just
Is it snow?
2 meters. No, it's a Kuroneko truck.
Oh, Kuroneko, black cat.
Black cat.
Why is a black cat outside your window?
Somebody's receiving a delivery or a pickup.
It's Halloween.
Probably a delivery.
It's Halloween.
No. Oh, no, I meant to say there's a Kuroneko truck.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the green background with the yellow kanji, and then the yellow and black, the black cat symbol on yellow. So it's right there. And
for those of you out there who are asking it's a delivery system, it would be very similar to FedEx,
exactly,
in Japan. Or UPS. So
I'll just interrupt this thing to say, which it's common, or it especially was common in Japan, to ship, if you're traveling long distances, it's common to ship your baggage by this kind of shipping. And it's cheap and it's efficient, and your baggage arrives at a preset destination when you get there. So you don't have to haul it on the bullet train or the other forms of transportation. You could use Kuroneko and have it sent to the airport, and you pick it up at the airport center
before you check in.
And it's incredibly convenient, and you can travel lightly to get to the airport.
Right. So your bags are waiting for you.
Your bags are waiting for you. It's a very convenient service, and I remember using it and having it cost about $25 or Musings 500 yen.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. From where we're at in Niigata, you can send your bag straight to Narita Airport or Haneda Airport. Actually, any airport in Japan, they will deliver straight to. Musings 500 yen, 2,500 yen to Narita, Haneda, and Chubu. Same cost. But if I go to Kansai, it's 3,200 yen.
When I moved to Japan in September of 2000, it was September 2013. I was at the hotel. My hotel had a desk that was for shipping.
That's right.
And I used that shipping desk, and I had my bag. I had one bag shipped to Niigata, to Shibata actually. And to your house.
To my house, I remember.
To your house, yeah. And that bag was there waiting when I got to Shibata, and I picked it up, and
we can hear the truck.
There it is. There he goes. Kuroneko finished his delivery.
Meow. The cat goes out the window.
Well, it's a great delivery system. It's great. Delivery's great. And by the way, I'm just full of ideas.
Throw it on.
Our postal mail is delivered, I think, 7 days a week.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Yeah, we get postal mail 7 days a week here in Japan. And how do they deliver it? A guy comes around on a little motor scooter, or a little not a moped, but a little motorbike.
It's a motorbike, a 50cc motorbike.
Yeah, so it's very small, but he comes around and is very, very agile, very, very efficient, and he can deliver the mail and get in and out quickly. So we get our mail, and
if you have a package, the guy with the truck comes by and runs the same route. So
they can come by as late as 8 or 9 o'clock at night as well.
9 o'clock, right? Which is really nice. And also, if you miss the delivery, they put the slip in your box, and then you can call them if they
select the time.
And select the time where they'll deliver. Or sometimes what I do, I'll miss them by 10 minutes, and I'll call them because their phone number is written on the slip. You can call directly to the driver, and he'll deliver it. I'll say, I'm home now. Can you deliver it now? And he goes, no problem. I'll run. He runs it by your house before he goes back to the postal office. So cool stuff here. Service is cool here. So
I didn't tell you this. This is another thing. Sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I got to tell you this. The other day, my car battery died.
Ouch.
And so I was starting my car. Well, actually, in the morning when I was leaving for work, I noticed that the noise of dying batteries, the sound. Yeah, and so I said, but then it started.
Yeah,
it turned over, and so
it said okay. One.
But I didn't give it another thought. Well, I got into my car that night, at 6:30, and by that time 6:20, I think it was already dark
after work.
Yeah. And so I got into the car, and I turned it on, and nothing happened. I mean, all the lights and everything were on, but my battery is dead. So I called my wife, and then we called the insurance company, and the insurance company sent a tow truck, but they had delays to getting out here because of the traffic and whatnot. He gets out of here, though, and he has this big rig. I says, well, how's he going to get it into the space that I'm in? It's all, but no, he just carries the battery charger. It's like a big case.
Yeah, you just take the charger. Yeah, you don't.
Yeah, it's amazing what they do nowadays. So he took the charger, and he brought it to my car, and he started it.
Right. Was that JAF? JAF?
Could have been. It was dark, and I don't know, but I was grateful that he was there.
JAF,
the Japan Auto Federation.
Right. Like what's the one? AA?
AAA.
AAA, yeah. AA, not Alcoholics Anonymous.
Or in California, Automobile Club of Southern California, or Northern California.
Yeah. AAA.
Anyway, yeah, AAA. So anyway, I have the receipt up there.
Cool. Well, you don't have. Oh, that's right. You don't see. I have JAF. I have a new car, so I have an automatic subscription for JAF for 2 years. So if something happened to my car, it would do it for free. I'd call them, hey, pick me up or charge my battery stuff.
My service was free.
Yeah, it should have been free, but
then by the time he got there, it was 7:30.
Yeah, there.
And do you think most auto places are open? No, they aren't.
There are no auto places you could go. For our friends overseas, there's no auto parts shop. There's no. I can't remember the name of auto shops in the States. Because I haven't been there in a long time. But there's no part shops. There's nothing like that. You can't call a gas station or a service station because most of them don't have those services. That kind of services. They leave it to JAF. So they're always a little bit busy. So, and in your area, JAF must be really busy.
Yeah, well, I think so, but I needed a new battery right then.
But they'll charge you though, and then the next day you can go down to your dealer, to the auto dealer, or to the.
And I didn't have time to go down to the next dealer the next day. So what happened was my wife got on the phone, and she called a local auto shop.
Right.
They stayed there and they waited for me.
Right.
And the tow truck driver, he knew exactly who they were.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a local auto shop. So they were there waiting. It was quiet, and the guy was there waiting. And it was about 8 o'clock at night.
Right.
And I pulled in, and he immediately changed my battery. And it took him about 10 minutes, and that's all he did. And and it was done. And then he even for free, he gave me a new map light. So I have a new map light, and
nice.
My car's in great working order.
But I can give you, if you ever wanted to do it yourself, Greg, here's how you would do it. You could go to the DIY shops like Komeri or Musashi. They also have car batteries there, and they have the charts there. So you could go there and you can look at the charts, find the battery. Hi. Find your car on there. It'll tell you which battery to buy. You pick up the battery, and then you can get your crescent wrench out there, or your sockets, and then open it up, and you can do it yourself.
Yeah, that's a good idea too. but in my life, I simply don't have the time.
Oh, okay. Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, no, I really don't. So it was
do you know how to do that, Greg?
No. I don't.
Well, that's safer than if you don't do that. I don't want you to put the polarity on wrong and blow up your car.
I would do that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, anyway, but hey, but driving, there was an interesting question that you said you wanted to talk about. You have a picture to show?
I have a picture. This is really nice. This is a picture that I went to a Thai restaurant yesterday with my wife, and on the way for Facebook, I did a video I just wanted to show the route. And do you notice the markings on the road there?
Yeah,
It's these thick,
the
bold,
broken white
broken white.
dots.
Yeah, or the lines.
Yeah,
They're strips. They're very thick strips, and as compared to a normal striping,
right.
you know, demarking the lanes.
Mm-hmm.
And do you know anything about that? Do
Yeah,
you have an
yeah.
explanation?
Yeah, there's a very simple explanation. The same as in California, you have a broken white line means you can pass, right? The passing lanes, right? So you have two lanes and you have a broken white line in between. Not fat, but just a regular striping. Now, in that case, what you have, you still have the broken white lines, but then you have these thick blocks, I would call them, broken blocks. And those are put in areas that there is some sort of danger or some sort of caution that you must exercise when you want to pass or when you approach that area. If you look at the Greg's picture again, you will see that it's going downhill and it's going to curve.
Yeah, it's not easily readily. It's you can there's a it's right before a curve.
Right, and it's going downhill. You can kind of tell that. And there on the left, I can see there's probably approaching a blind intersection. There's a wall and some trees that are over there, so that means there's probably a blind intersection. So that means if you're passing or maneuvering in this lane, be careful. There's something could happen there. You'll see it on highways. There are a lot of places where you have like 2 or 3 lanes like that road there. That's a nice big road. Very few of those in this area, but that's a nice big area.
Yeah, it's a main road. You could get on that road and go to Toyota.
Oh yeah, that's huge. So yeah, so you'll see that a lot of highways and stuff. In Niigata, when Greg and I, when we used to take the Shinshin bypass, right?
Oh, that's right.
Every time you get close to an exit, you'll see those broken lines. We'll say, hey, coming to the exit, okay, and then after that, when there's an entrance, it could have a broken line, and then nobody cares after that. So, but it's just one of those little simple little things that you learn or you have to learn when you're driving in Japan. So in Tokyo, they have the same things, and sometimes they put them on the bridges. There's a lot of bridges on the over ramps on the highways in Tokyo, so they'll have bumps on them.
Yeah.
So if you can still change lanes. It's okay to change lanes, but it's warning you. So to be careful over there. So anyway.
So that was a question that we had from yesterday. And because yesterday I went and had a delicious lunch at a Thai restaurant with my wife. And
what did you eat?
Oh, I had pad Thai.
Yeah.
And it's a restaurant we've probably been to. I've been to with my wife probably 6 or 7 times. And it's a fine quality Thai restaurant. The owner is a Japanese man who's married to a woman originally from Thailand.
Perfect.
And so she's the cook, and
he's the bottle washer.
Well, it's amazing. Whatever it is, it's amazing because it's a very nice Thai food for lunch.
Well, that's kind of cool, and that's one thing that let's talk a little bit about culture. Ready? Culture. Okay, and we'll put a little graphic in there. I'll do.
And I'll even change my my background from my apartment from my. Sorry, everybody. This came open somehow.
Yeah, well,
it fell off.
Stop stripping, Greg.
Yeah, this
is a family. Here. This is a family show.
Yeah. So, anyway, there we go. But I'll put up a background. I think I talked about this before, and I'll just say one word on it. This is Daijuji.
One word.
Temple.
One word.
This is a temple.
Temple.
In Okazaki, which was featured on national television.
Yes,
just the other day.
I saw it, and I sent you the pictures. I was
thinking, right.
Hey, that's Greg's place. And they were talking, and it was actually on a national broadcast talking about the history of Japan. That place behind Greg there is very, very, very famous. It's part of the Tokaido Road. Hokkaido Dori.
Yeah,
Uh,
which
was the first national highway that was built in Japan, and this was 400 years ago. A little over 400 years ago, it was built as a way to connect all the major cities from Edo, which is now Tokyo, they had to connect Edo with all these places, and so that is one of the major stops. Not just a stop. That place behind Greg was one of the most important stops because the the history, right? Nobunaga,
yeah,
is from there, right? He's
yeah,
from that's just he was the what do you call it? He would be the shogun, not shogun. He wasn't a shogun, emperor. He was, but he wasn't an emperor. He was the head shogun of Japan. He was in charge of. He's the one who unified Japan. He comes from where Greg's at. So Greg is in the center of the history of the unification of Japan. Which,
yeah. He was born here,
mhm,
and he was
he fought the battle there.
Yeah,
at that temple right there, that little place there. It's amazing. I mean, and at that time, we're talking around the year 1620 or something like that. So the United States is 1620. I think the Pilgrims just landed.
Yeah,
there was no United States. The Pilgrims just landed. The Spanish had been in the Americas for 100 years, already. By that time.
By the way, we have a classmate.
We do.
What you would call a classmate from our university, and
from the past.
Yeah, and I'm just going to mention they work in England, and they posted on their Facebook page. I noticed this. It's a job opening for a position at his university where he's teaching, and it's in England, and I believe the college the university, the school at this university was founded in 1596.
Well, yeah. I remember,
and that's not necessarily related to this story, but
but
it's
age. The
age is a relation.
I remember going to Oxford when I was at Chaffey, and some people Chaffey College down in Southern California, in beautiful Rancho Cucamonga. We were playing in England and in Scotland. I remember staying at a homestay in Oxford, and then staying this, maybe it's a dorm. I can't remember. It sounded like a house or a dorm, but I remember the professor who was in charge of it was saying, "Yeah, well, this university was founded at about, 1200." It's like 1200. So I mean, completely, the world is such a, our culture, meaning the English culture, is it is an old culture, and it has existed for quite a while. But in reality, American culture is so small. We've done a lot. We've done a lot of great things, and a lot of things have happened in America, but the English culture, which you and I, work in, we're English teachers in a foreign land, that kind of culture, man, is kind of extensive, but we're such a smaller part of it. How is it, for you, Greg, now, you've been here now 7+ years. You're going on 8, right?
That's right.
This month, right? This month is gonna.
Yep. This month is my eighth year in Japan.
8th year now.
Yeah.
How's now? And now you've been here. You're starting your 8th year. You have worked now 2 or 3, 4 different kinds of jobs. Different places. You worked here in Niigata Shibata area. Now you're working down there. You're married. You're doing all these things. And how is your Japanese, Greg?
あまり上手じゃないんですけど。でも毎日一生懸命頑張りたいと思います。
Yeah,そうね。So 分かった。So every day, huh? You feel this? You ever feel any pressure though?
Yeah, sometimes.
ちょっとだけ?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
Sometimes I do feel pressure, you know, because it's learning
I,
Japanese is not easy,
so in a
and it's also not only do you have to learn the grammar, but you have to learn the context and the way of using the language. For example, it may translate grammatically correct in grammar, but it's not what Japanese people say or use. So
yes,
that's
exactly.
so it sounds strange, so you hesitate to use it.
Right. And man, it's crazy. It's crazy. I mean, just today, I'll just this is supposed to be private, but I'm doing my stress check. This is a stress my a job stress survey that I have to do. I have to do these every year. So this, just so you know, just I'll just give you an example. This is what I deal with every day. This kind of stuff. You know, having to read this instructions and do this. My personal information is right up in here, right here. My birth date. Let me use a pen that has my birth date. I'm a man, and my ID number and my name, and then the questions, and then how you feel, the questions and how you feel, you have to mark down. Oh, the other side too. Boom, 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 boom. And then they'll do.
This is a land of surveys
Oh man, I'm tired.
and
And
questionnaires.
questionnaires,
Yeah.
surveys,
Every
paperwork.
concert you go to always has a survey. How was this concert? Would you like to hear more? Are you going to are you a regular attender? How old are you?
Yeah, and see, and so Greg and I have to deal with Japanese kind of like this more than we actually speak. To be honest, right? I mean, I think
Yeah, I think so. I mean,
right?
and that's really hard because it's using the old Chinese characters, and the thing is, and the characters that they use in Japan, China, China it has simplified their own
Right.
characters,
They
and yet Japan has remained with the old it's very complex characters in kanji,
yeah,
the Japanese, the old Chinese characters that they borrowed from China, and the architecture in the background, that's Chinese architecture,
right.
which has been assimilated into Japan.
It's in Japan. Yeah, I mean, if you really want to look at truly 100% Japanese culture or places, there are very, very few in this country. Everything here is an assimilation from another culture, and primarily China. Probably 80 to 90% of what you see in Japan is Chinese or a Japanese version of Chinese culture. Even the language itself, even the sounds, the certain ways that we still speak in Japanese have a root sound element in Chinese. Same in America, right? The English that you use in America, the British English, they don't sound the same, but actually the American English that you're using was common in Britain 300 years ago. It just, the sounds have changed. I had a friend who's a linguist, I should say. He was a linguist, and he was telling me a lot of the research now on accents from on the American South and the East Coast and the Appalachians, and up through Maine, and the Bostonian accent, and even to the Chicago and the Midwest accents. All of these have roots in either the colonial English, colonial French, or the colonial Spanish in some cases, especially like in New Orleans and Texas. A lot of these places, we're American is still speaking a form of English, or a form of French, or a form, Cajun, Cajun French, or the Creole French in New Orleans. You're speaking a form of French that hasn't been spoken for like 300-400 years. If you have that Boston accent, you're speaking with a Yorkshire accent that was common 250-300 years ago. So he said there's a lot of research that's proving those dialects, those accents, are actually rooted in Old English. So here in Japan, we're learning Old Chinese.
Yeah.
you know,
And what's interesting is about the Japanese characters that we use that have been borrowed from China, is that there's two different readings for those for most of the characters,
right?
and one is an on reading, and the other is a kun reading.
Mm-hmm.
and those readings, one of them is the sound that's native to Japanese sounds,
Right.
phonemes, or this is Japanese,
Right.
and it's not Chinese sounds. But they use
Chinese character
with
spoken with a
Japanese
Japanese
sound.
sound, right?
Yeah. But the other side is the Chinese characters that have assimilated or been assimilated, and sounds have been assimilated in the Japanese language, and those pronunciations are Chinese.
Right. Right.
So
Do you have an example? Do you have an example?
Well, maybe you use the character for die or o.
Right. Die.
Yeah.
This.
So you could probably, I know you could probably give an example better than I.
Yeah. So, like you said, die. Die would be the own reading.
Yeah.
Which would be the Japanese with but the o, the big oki o would be the Chinese reading.
So, which is really fascinating about the language here in Japan and how they use the old system of kanji or Chinese characters. And it's not easy at all.
No,
how many if you wanted to read a Japanese newspaper, we get the Japanese newspaper every day here. We get the Nagoya newspaper, which is called the Chunichi Shimbun.
Right.
The Chunichi, it's the central. Yeah. Well, that's my favorite baseball team in Japan. But we get the newspaper here, and how many Chinese characters should you know to really be able to 100% understand that newspaper?
100%?
Yeah.
You're talking tens of thousands of kanji.
At least 3,000.
Oh, no. I mean, to 100%. No, I think more like it's almost 10,000.
Yeah, it's a lot of kanji.
Because there's a lot of political kanji that you don't,
you never use.
Oh God. Oh.
I
mean, into an American, okay, let me put it this way. It's like reading Chaucer in original Middle English. You can understand it, you can get around, but you don't know how it sounds, you know how to pronounce it. I mean, that's what I do when I read the newspaper in Japan. I've seen that kanji before. Oh, I've known it. That means this. So this means it's talking about this.
I'm going to pull out a book from my bookshelf. This is a book that I bought at Kinokuniya bookstore, and I believe I bought this in Niigata. And in fact, I know I did. I'm pretty sure of it. But this is a simple book, but it has, it's a simple book. It only has 1,000 kanji in it.
It should have this kanji and dai in there. Why don't you find this one?
Let's see. That's
its strokes is what, 3 strokes. I don't know if it's a stroke order book or.
It does have that information. It's very thorough,
so look at the beginning. You look under 3 strokes, and you should be able to find the page where.
Let's see. This one is listed by the numbering of the kanji.
The order. So I don't know the order.
I don't know what number, but it goes from 1 to 1,000. 1 to. I'm looking. I don't know where that would be. But it does have 3 strokes. This doesn't list by stroke order, but I have at least 10 books on kanji, and this book I'm going to open it up and show our viewers. This is just each
Kuro.
one kan.
Oh, that one, yeah. Grain.
Yeah, so this is just one. What number is this kanji?
349.
Okay. Now there's 2,000 daily kanji that you would use.
Right.
And it's so you can see how complex it is. I was looking at Japanese junior high homework, and it's probably those kids probably know at least 1,500 kanji, or at least 1,000 kanji. I don't know.
Well, no, they should know 2,000 to 3,000. I think when they graduate, they should know 2,000 to 3,000.
I think I think they know Joyo kanji by the time they get through elementary school.
Right.
Maybe.
Right.
So I'm not sure, but I can't say with 100% certainty. But Joyo kanji is about 2,000 characters.
Okay. Yeah.
And so
it's crazy, man. Crazy.
But anyway, that's one of the hard things about learning Japanese language, and I don't know what do you think, Mark? Do you ever get discouraged if you don't know how to say something in Japanese? Do you ever feel that way? I
Not anymore.
I still do sometimes.
It's because how do I say
Well, I
this?
can tell you this because
I, go ahead.
um,
Go ahead.
I know that me as a language learner, I only know what I know,
I
and
know.
I
I
can't
know.
help it that I don't know what I don't know, and so I can help it, but it takes a long time truly for anybody. You know, we have a friend who last week we had Anders Hagman on
Mm,
and I was always impressed with Anders' Japanese skills because he speaks the colloquial Japanese very well,
mm.
and he can get by in most situations, I think.
Yep.
You know, and I was always impressed, even 7 8 years ago when I first came to Japan and met him. But we have another friend named Eric who was a Japanese major at an American university, and Eric, I remember when Eric got his certification in the highest level of Japanese for a foreigner, the test
Level one. Yeah.
level one, which is extraordinarily difficult to do. So, you know, Eric told me that he was this is about 5 years, 6 years ago. He told me this. He said that it was an ongoing process, and that it took a long time for him to get to his own basic level, even as a Japanese major at the university.
Hmm.
So 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 I guess, you know, you just can't really worry about learning language. You just do what you can do.
And see, that's the thing. In my position, I came to this country. I never intended to stay here.
Yeah.
You know, so it wasn't like you, Greg, where you came here to learn and then you wanted to be here and make your new life and that kind of, that. And I came here as a reaction to my situation. So I didn't worry about that so much. I once, I had a family and went through my first 10 years here. Yeah, I worried about what I couldn't communicate and worried if people misunderstood me. I mean, even
Yeah,
when
and I'm still in those 10 and that 10-year period for me,
right.
you
So
know.
you're there and I've been there, and it's like, I worried about if people really understood what I was trying to say or nothing.
And you
But
know, you
now,
say, oh, sorry, I didn't interrupt you, but you
go
say
ahead.
these things, you say, God, you know, I said it right grammatically, and they don't understand.
Right. Or
Or even if you said it right, colloquial Japan, or the right way the Japanese would say it, they still might not understand
and
sometimes.
and I don't want to offend anybody, but sometimes when I do say something correctly, and I'll you and I think I'm saying it in a very good pronunciation or enunciation or intonation and stress, and I'm making as natural sounds as I can. They look at me and they go, they don't understand me. Sometimes, and Greg's been with me, we go to a drive-through at a restaurant or a McDonald's,
No, when I
and
go with you
but no,
to, I don't mean
sometimes,
to interrupt you there, but
remember the one time that I ordered something and they there was a pause and then they said, no, no, no. I'm going, no, 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 no. I said it again. Pause. Hi, which means yes. Okay. Hi. Drive up to the next window. Okay, go up the next window. Then they repeat it again to me. Did you order blah blah blah? And
it's frustrating.
it's
Yeah.
frustrating. That happens to me now, and that's what bothers me, because sometimes I know I said it right. I know it's correct. I know it's colloquial. I know it's culturally perfect, but they won't do it because they see the person saying it. The person saying it. He can't say that. He's not Japanese, and I know a lot of foreigners have gone through that, and I don't know if you've gone through that yet,
Oh
Greg.
wait. Oh well, I went through it in Shibata.
Oh, okay, yeah. It's in the
I and
Shibatas.
it was about 3 months to 5 months, or I think it was about 3 months in that I first noticed it,
Right.
and I first picked up on it, but it's a thing that's, you know, that's just foreign life living in Japan,
Right.
and that's how it is.
But like you said, am I worried about people not understanding? Do I? No, I don't, because now my situation is I only see certain people. I only work in a certain field. Whether I'm doing music or I'm doing my language teaching at the college or doing events, I'm always doing the same thing and I'm in the same circle. So there's actually, I don't have to, everyone knows it's me. They know what I'm saying because they know me now. I've been here so long, they go, oh, that's Mark. We know what Mark's going to say. We know how Mark talks. And so when I speak Japanese, they go, wakata. I'll talk to the president of my colleges and the company, and just like I'm talking to Greg right now, talking to you, I'll talk to him like this, and he'll go, yeah, and respond, and he talks in Japanese back, and I'll talk to him in English, and no problem, because they know me. So I'm at the point. So Greg, what's going to happen to you in about 5 years? People are just going to be, it's Greg. It's Greg. You'll get into that groove, and then your life will be.
I also think 5 years from now, my Japanese will be much more proficient than it is now.
It will be, because people will know you and will allow you to make mistakes and not worry about it. They'll say, it's Greg. It's okay. And they might repeat to you. This is what's nice, though, and I notice. So I'll say something, and then they'll look, did you mean blah, 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 blah? And they'll repeat it, but maybe the accent's a little bit, yes, that's what I mean. So they subtly correct me, and I understand. But it's nice. It's polite. It's a way they help me communicate, and they smile. Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. Don't worry about it. Thank you. It's kind of nice that way. So, well, we're getting a little long tooth again on our video here. I wanted to talk about one thing about the culture before we end, because there's a big change is going to happen in Japan. Big change. Okay, big change. Big change.
Big change.
I have this. This is a hanko.
It's a stamp, huh?
A seal.
A seal.
A seal. Not azarashi, but Japanese joke. Azarashi is seal, like the animal.
But
see, in a couple of years, Greg, you'll get my bad jokes. Or maybe
I try to do those in Japanese too sometimes.
You do it all the time, and the students are like, same as you. They go, oh yeah, they call it oyaji gag.
Oh yeah.
That means an old man joke, So anyway, but a hanko is your official seal. This is like you register. This is your signature. We in Japan, we don't sign papers this way. We have to officially register something or to do something. You need one of these, and shachihata. Not a shachihata. Shachihata is like the rubber stamp. This is an actual piece of wood that has my name carved in it, and I have it registered with the bank. I've bought cars with this. I've bought houses. I need this to buy a house. I don't even need the money, because I can get a loan. To get a loan, I need this. And so this is my hanko, and this is my official seal. This is what it looks like right here. I have it stamped. This says Marin.
That's a very nice stamp. And that says your name in the Japanese characters of katakana, I think.
And it's and now some people get their first name like Mark or Mark Marin, or I could have put Mark Anthony Marin, but no, I wanted to be very unique, so I just said I am Marin.
Interesting.
So and I did this 30 years ago. And this is like one of the first things I had to do when I came to this country, because I had to get a bank account in order to get paid and to put my money, and I needed one of these. And so I got one of these.
So let me ask you that you got, how long ago did you get that registered? You registered it, right, with the government? Or
yes, it's registered with the city government. So
yeah. And how much did you pay for that 30 years ago?
About 25,000 yen, 30,000 yen. So
and how much is that in US dollars today?
Today it would be like $250. And actually,
and if the yen was worth as much as it is today, do you know how much it would be worth in US dollars now? As the yen was, because it was about what? How much was the yen about that time? Was it about 200 yen to the dollar or 150?
No, it wasn't that. It was about 125. So 125. Oh God, Greg, you got the calculator, man. Basically, it was about $200 at the time.
Yeah.
Today would be about $300.
Yeah.
But see, why is it so expensive? Because number one, it's registered, but it's made from a solid piece of wood and it's hand carved. These are not machined. They have to be hand carved. I have to get it. How do I get it out of this machine here? I can show you if I can pull it up. Anyway, but Greg also had to do the same thing. Right, Greg?
I did. It was very interesting. I did. This is a small one that I got. It's in a. I'm going to turn off my virtual background.
Yeah, so you can see it.
Just so I can. Yeah, here we go. So this is my small daily use seal. It's in a nice container.
I have one of those somewhere, but
yeah, and I bought this. This cost about 8,000 yen, and I bought it in Niigata, not too far from where you work from your school. And you notice that it has an ink little thing that you can put ink
well,
and then it's a red ink, and then here's the stamp.
Now, what does yours say?
It says Taylor. It says my name in katakana, which is a derivative of kanji, the Chinese characters, but it's a native Japanese script.
So now hold that up again, Greg. Just the hanko. So mine's similar. Mine's a little bit fatter than that one, and mine is black. And the case, it doesn't matter, but hold the hanko. No, not the case, Greg. The hanko. You have a little notch on it.
Yeah, the notch is right.
Show the notch there. There
notch
it is.
Is right there.
Now that's where you put your finger, and that means that's the top.
The top.
So his kanji says Taylor, right?
That's right.
So mine has the same thing. I just put it in this little convenient thing because what this does, Greg has a little inkwell in the case. I have one of those too, but problem is the inkwells always dry up. So this one comes in this little. There's my hanko there.
Yeah,
and then this has a little ink pad.
Yeah, an ink pad.
Pad.
Yeah,
in here. So all I do is I push it like this. I push it onto the paper and it'll stamp. So I just. Well, let me show it.
A lady. By the way,
like this. I push,
yeah,
and then there's my name. So,
oh, nice.
Yeah, it's very simple and it's clean. I don't need to have the tissues, right? Sometimes you can put your hanko, you have to get the tissue. In my office, I have two smaller ones that one says Mark, and the other one says Marine. And what it is basically those are rubber, and they have the same kind of thing. And I just so I can stamp documents. Everything that I do has to have one of these in my office. Not my signature. I mean, this is my signature. Everything. And what's going to happen is, and this is the point, the Prime Minister has directed the Director of Digitization and Modernization of the blah, blah, blah ministry, whatever. They created this office where this guy has to sit there and try to make the government more efficient. And one of the ways is to eliminate this. This is huge in Japan. This is a culture. This is a business. We're talking, there are shops, right? Greg went to a shop and bought this very beautiful.
Same shop that I had the other one made. This one's here. But this is, this is in Niigata also. It's a very famous hanko shop, which is a seal maker shop.
Yeah, it's just a shop that just makes these things.
So that other seal cost about $70 or $80 US.
Right.
This is I don't need this one, but this I wanted to make it at the time, and I paid a huge amount of money for it. But this is
Ooh, there's your insurance card too.
no, this is the registration, I believe, with Shibata,
Yeah, you
and
don't need it anymore.
it's not valid at all.
Nope.
But
You
it's
keep it together.
yeah, I for personal reasons I kept it, but this is
That's a certification. Now that's the box. Now that just names the what that is. That means the
but I'm
hunk.
gonna this family. It would be like a family.
That box is handmade, by the
Yeah.
way. And then you open that box up. Look at this. Look at this. Is incredible. Nice little quilt. And he's got this big, huge case inside of there. Take that out. Nice form fitted, all handmade. Then open. Nice there. You can sleep
Little
in there when
bed.
you're tired.
Yeah, that's right. Little coffin.
Halloween. Happy Halloween. Yeah. Okay. Red case. Now open that puppy up. And then you have,
and this is gosh, I hope this is an actual ivory. I think it's ivory.
It is ivory, and it's bigger, and
yeah,
and it's got.
I think this would make people who this comes from an elephant, I believe.
I don't know if it's an elephant or a walrus or leftover.
Yeah, but this is one that I had made with my entire name, and this cost $350 to make this.
And what does it say exactly?
It says my full name in the Japanese pronunciation.
Those are in Japanese.
Yeah, Gregory Teira.
No, it isn't water in there.
It's all that stuff.
Wow. Yeah. So it's, and how often do you use that?
Oh, I've used it once, I think.
But it's actually nice. I mean, if you buy a house, you should register that one too, Greg. But by the time you buy a house, there's the ink pad there. By the time you buy a house, though, that maybe the hunk will be abolished.
I don't know. It's hard to say, but I think that maybe the reason, about 5 years ago, they got the My Number card, which is basically the equivalent of the U.S. Social Security card in terms of the number. It's a number that you have to use when you go apply for a job. I didn't necessarily need a honko or a stamp or a seal to sign my documents at the job, but I needed my number for the process. So
well, see, that's what I don't understand. Well, maybe because you're a foreigner, but see, I'm technically administration. I'm in the administration of my school and the company.
Yeah, you have a different status.
I have to have this, and I've got 3 different ones. This is my official one, so it stays here at the house. When I bought my car, I used this. I had to take this with me, and I had to stamp many documents. When I transfer money from the bank, I had to use this to. I just couldn't transfer the money. I had to seal it. And see, this is the problem. In Japan, in order to do something, if you're in the government, you need to have this. And they have boxes. Our school has a box that we keep in the safe. So when we want to give transcripts and documentation for students, we pull out the box with it. Open it up, and then we have all these different kinds of stamps. So we have to use. We cannot sign. Everything has to be on a registered stamp to make the document official. I have so many problems when students go overseas to study overseas in different schools because they want official documents. But in Japan, an official document means a piece of paper that you can touch. PDFs don't count. And I said, but I need a PDF. And he said, well, we can't make a PDF. I says, okay, give me the document. So that I take the document, I go to our computer. We have our printer. We have a very nice office printer that can scan color at a high resolution. So I make a high resolution scan and I make a security stamp. I put the a watermark. You can add a watermark to the PDF. Then I send it to the school, or like in Germany, I had one in Germany, and then they can get it and they can process the student. the school doesn't know how to do that. I have to do it. So what this administrator of the government is going to do now is figure out a way to eliminate this step and to make it more efficient. So then when we process things through the government, we are able to get things done in a quick and an efficient manner. Because, for example, I think, we talked about the Abe mask, and things like that, that we got right. All
Yeah.
these, the Abe mask, why did it take so long to get them for
Months
because
and months.
because I'm telling you, it has to go through a procedure through the bureaucracy, and each step has to be sealed. Each step. So that if the guy's not there, it doesn't get sealed. If the guy's too busy doing other stuff, then it's backed up because he has to read the document, then seal. Read the document, and seal. Read the doc. It's that mundane. I mean, it's horrible. So Greg and I spent all this money on these things. Now, granted, I've had mine for 30 years, so it's done a lot for me. Thank you, Hanko. Without you, I would not have survived in Japan.
Yep.
But pretty soon, I have to retire you. You and I will retire together. Well, I don't have to worry about it. I hope. That's the hope. So, I don't know, Greg. What do you think? Is it a good idea?
The Honko?
Yeah.
I don't know. To me, probably is a good idea, but it's a tradition that even in my time here in Japan that has been a part of everyday life in Japan. Yesterday we had a lady come by, and we had a lady come by the house, and some documents had to be sealed. You could sign the signature, but actually it's preferable, and in that way quicker to just stamp it, with a stamp.
Right.
And like we call it an incon also, which is not a registered
right
Jitsuin Honko or whatever, but you can do it that way. You can stamp documents with your name, and it's much more efficient than signing it with a signature. So she came by, and we had to have her these documents stamped. I don't know if it's a good idea or not, but probably is.
Well, I think the signature for me is more efficient because now, like you were talking Kuroneko guys, when they come by, I always sign. And I don't, what do I sign? I'll show you what I sign. I'm sorry.
Oh.
There you go. What does that say?
I can't read it.
Right. Thank you. I win. I'm just signing Marin, M-A-R-I, and I didn't dot the I. Sorry. That's it. That's all I do. But because on the document they have a little round circle. The round circle is supposed to be for the Inca, the stamp. So I don't have my stamp all the time, so I sign in that little round circle. They don't care. Because it's a gaijin, they don't care. So. Anyway, yeah. Greg, I think we'd better finish.
Yeah, it was great, Mark. What's that red feather?
We have these community donations we have to do, every season, spring, summer, winter, fall, there are different campaigns. So sometimes if you ever watch a Japanese politician on TV, you'll see him have a little red feather on his lapel. I mean, he made a donation.
Oh, great.
To whatever that organization. So I hope everyone donates to their local community. I did. I got my feather. So anyway, we'll finish this up. Thank you very much, Greg.
Yeah.
It was.
Thank you, Mark. It was great.
It was lots of fun. Next week we promise some funky things. Oh, this is a long musing, so maybe we'll take a little quick break next week, and then we'll follow up with another special guest. In this musings, you'll see some funky graphics from Greg and I, and there'll be a special commercial. We're going to have a commercial break in the middle of this program, or maybe here at the end since I'm talking about it. And it'll be from my son, Ty. He took a holiday today, went to a local amusement park. And I hope you enjoy the commercial. So anyway, everyone have a wonderful life. And please don't get COVID like the president. Wear your mask.
Of the United States. That's right.
Yeah. Wear your mask. Clean your hands. Don't touch anybody. Okay. Okay. Anyway, ciao.
Ciao,
Adios.
everybody.
はい。はい。
さようなら。
さようなら。
Good morning, everyone. This is the Santopia World in the Niigata Yasuda.